I'm Shauna, and you're watching Ex Felon Unfiltered. So, in today's video, I will be sharing with you all, like, from the beginning of how I became a felon and went to prison. So, before I get into all that, I have to start from the beginning. In 2000 and the end of 2007, after I graduated from a secondary school, me and a friend of mine, we was looking for an apartment to live together because she was going through a lot with her mom, and she was living with her godmom and her goddad, but she really didn't like living there, so she wanted a place of her own. And I also wanted a place of my own because I just started receiving SSI due to me being legally blind. So I just received SSI. And back then, like, the rent and stuff wasn't high, but with my income and her income together, we was we will be able to get a place. So we was able to get a place at the end of 2007 after we both graduated from the secondary school. So when we got our first apartment together, the first couple months, it was cool. She had a boyfriend, and he was over there a lot. And being so it was me and her apartment, and I didn't technically mind him living there, but he wasn't paying anything. It was me and her paying everything, or at least I thought, because later on I found out he was paying her half of the rent and I was paying my half of the rent. But back then I didn't think that was fair. I thought that being so he was here, we all should have split the bills into three. So that's how I felt. So he was coming there all the time, basically living there. And I remember one day my friend, she came home, and she was banking with Citizens Bank at the time. And she came home saying that her friend was, a lot of people she was talking to, they were suspect. But she said um somebody asked her, can they use her account to put a certain amount of money inside her account, and she told them no. But she was also legally blind too, but she was I had more vision than her, but she was also legally blind. So later on she found out that her account was overdrawn like thousands of dollars. So somehow somebody was able to get to her account and deposit a fake check into her account, and her account was overdrawn, so she had to do a whole dispute, and she had to shut her account down. After that event, we were still living together. Everything was okay, but her boyfriend was still there. And I also was with somebody at the time, and he was he was legally blind too, but he was, like, you might as well say, like, totally blind because he couldn't see anything. But he had, like, a lot of insight and a lot of different stuff. What was going on, he wasn't feeling, like I said, about my friend and her boyfriend that was living there without even my consent, but he was living there. I was young. So he was living there, and it was a lot of back and forth with him living there, then a lot of weird stuff started happening. I'll say like around February, March, because I remember they did like a whole photo shoot for Valentine's Day. And I remember me and my friend, we wasn't like talking like that for real, because I felt some type of way because we supposed to have got this apartment for us, not for us and your boyfriend. And then on top of that, her boyfriend, me and his friend was dating for a little bit. That didn't last that long because he still went basically be with his kid's mom, which at that point I was okay with. I wasn't tripping. I didn't care. But the main thing I cared about was, and I started feeling some type of way because my friend together got our money together to move into this apartment, and somehow your boyfriend weaseled his way living here, and I wasn't feeling that. And it was hard at the time. It was hard for me to explain to her that I didn't want him living here because it's supposed to be me and her apartment. And I just shut down. We really wasn't talking. All we did was live there as basically roommates and not like friends living together. And her boyfriend came over there from time to time when it was time to pay the rent. I had my half of the rent. She had her half of the rent. And then like she paid the gas bill, I paid the electric bill, and I think the cable bill, we split that. So that's how that went for at least like probably 2 months. One day, or how the apartment was like, the back, we didn't have like a back porch, or like, yeah, we didn't have like a back porch, a backyard, or nothing. It was like a back platform with metal steps to the platform. And with the metal steps, I noticed that one day I came home, our apartment got robbed, but they only took her stuff. They didn't take my stuff, they took her stuff and a game system that was in the living room. So that was one event. And I told you in the beginning, people she hung around, like to sit on a porch across the street with people that to me was suspect. A lot of different people she used to hang around to me was like suspect, and I really never hung around them with her because I mainly stayed to myself. So after the apartment got robbed, more like weird stuff started happening. But like I really didn't know what was happening. I remember around this time, her and her boyfriend, they always got into different arguments and stuff. And then he wouldn't come back home, which that wasn't his house. That was supposed to be me and her apartment. So they was getting into different arguments and stuff. And then it was one day, me and an ex-boyfriend of mine, we came back to my house. And I remember my ex-boyfriend, he was legally blind too, but I'm legally blind and I have more vision than him. So, two things I noticed. The first thing I noticed that my friend, cause she had the front room, and I had the like it was like the middle room, and the rooms was pretty big. So room, like we both had two windows, and I had the middle room. So when me and my ex boyfriend came home, I'm walking up the steps, and he asked me, did I know this glass on the porch? Because I think he felt it on the ground or something, and I said no. So after that, I was I was nervous. So I cut on the outside light, and somebody spray painted the B word under her window, and her window was busted. Well, basically, the reason why they was getting in the arguments because her boyfriend was cheating on her with somebody else, and they knew where he lived at. They knew where we lived at. He technically wasn't supposed to be there because he wasn't on the lease, and so they broke her window and spray painted B underneath the window. So later on, I contact her and let her know that her window is broke and it's spray paint underneath her window and it's AB. Do she know what was going on? So she didn't tell me the story. She denied what was going on, but later on I found out that he was cheating on her. And after the spray painting happened, the window had the spray paint in the window, and before that, the house got robbed, but it was people that she um had coming into the house. And for me, like being as though I'm legally blind, I don't trust a lot of people coming in and out of my house. But being as though it was both of our houses and we both was paying rent and stuff, I just feel like a lot of times that I didn't have room to complain because she was paying rent too. So after that event happened, she said that she was moving. And after she said she was moving, and I knew that my income wasn't going for the rent and also cover the gas and the electric bill. Cause out first, cause she already knew like what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. So I came back home with my ex boyfriend. He asked me, did I want him to stay the night? I said, yeah. So he stayed the night with me, and then um I think I had to go somewhere that day. So we got up in the morning, got ready, and went somewhere, and I was out the whole day. And then I came back. Her whole room was empty. I remember we went half on the TV. She took the TV, and I remember um I I basically only took stuff that I can carry, cause I just bought a whole bed, like couple. Cause I think we was there for like 8 months, so I bought a dresser, mirror, bed, and all that stuff. But the only stuff I can take is stuff that I can basically carry. So all my clothes, all my personal stuff, and things like that. And a lot of stuff I had to um a lot of stuff I had to just leave because like I knew I was going back. I had to go back to my mom's house, and I really didn't want to go back there, but I ain't had nowhere else to go. So I'm back at my mom's house, depressed, ain't got nowhere to go, ain't got no money. Cause when I left, it was like towards the end of the month or something. So I'm back at my mom's house, ain't got no money, feeling depressed. And then that's when the crime and stuff happened. So stay tuned for that video. You're watching Ex Felon Unfiltered.